Hello everyone, my name is John Thomas Borowitz and we are your host of Texas High School's new sports podcast called Speakin Sports. By my side are Braden McKinnon, Nick Hall, and Samuel Cody. On this podcast, we plan to hold a weekly show around 30 minutes long. We plan to host guests and discuss all Texas high school sports and national sports. I keep up with Texas High sports through being manager of the basketball team and going to many baseball, football, and soccer games.
I keep up with Texas High sports because I'm on the soccer team and I'm the sports editor of the Tiger Times Online, which is the newspaper for Texas High School, and I'm always at as many sports events as I can.
I'm involved with Texas High by running multiple online accounts for them, and I also help game day with their stats, and I also go to many games as possible.
I'm involved with Texas High Sporting by being on the football team and involved in the track program. I love cheering on the Tigers at basketball games and all the other sporting events.
Exactly, and right now winter and spring sports are in full spring. Yesterday, we had our first baseball scrimmage of the year. Nick, tell us about that.
Well, I'm looking at the baseball scrimmage, and the senior class, it's incredible.
Really?
Luke Smith, and he's throwing some slingers. Nathan Steele too. He had a little off game that I saw last year, but this year, I could see some progression coming out.
So we have a lot of pitching.
Pitchers solid. Batters are also pretty solid. I saw some good hits from Rob, and I also saw some good hits from Cody Reese.
That's good.
Heard we won big.
I heard one was big. I didn't get to go to the full scrimmage, but from what I saw, it's looking good.
Yeah, last year we got to playoffs, lost to Ennis. Hopefully we can get back far in the playoffs this year, and hopefully we can even go farther. And Samuel, you were at softball.
Yeah, and I saw one of the best plays I'd ever seen.
Really?
We had Molly Fisher on the mound. They got the bases loaded. They hit one that everyone thought was going to be a grand slam. And Patience, the left fielder, ran over the wall and grabbed it. And
Really? Robbed it?
Ended the inning.
There you go.
Wow, that is insane.
Should be on Sports Center.
Top 10. There you go. Nick, did you see anything else at baseball?
Other than that, from the backup perspective, Cartwright did pretty good. And then other than that, baseball is looking good and make a long run in playoffs.
Yeah, we got
Even though we lost a lot, we should be able to reload.
We did lose a lot of seniors.
We did score a lot. I think it was 15 we had scored.
There you go.
I think we have a lot of speed on the bases this year.
Definitely. And we have 3 more weeks of scrimmages in baseball until baseball season starts. I'm ready for freshman JV and varsity baseball to start having
They're
at
playing
Texas High.
24 innings this week.
Really?
Just in their first week of scrimmages.
Wow.
How long? Do you know how many innings the game was?
10.
10 innings. Dang, that is a lot of innings. Yeah. And so, Braden, you play soccer. So y'all had a game last night. How'd it go?
Well, we lost 1-0 to Hallsville, but we also played Saturday, and it was just a terrible loss. We lost 6-0 to Sulphur. We probably played our worst game, but we really had a bounce back game against Hallsville. The refs, I could say that it didn't go our way, but the refs aren't going to be the reason we lose. It was just really a tough game, and we started off strong the year. We went 7-0. We were 1-0 in district. We lost the next 3, but I think we're building something, and we're still in the playoffs easily.
It looks like our district is like the SEC of soccer.
Yes,
everyone is clumped together. It's
It's so hard
division.
fought. We work our tail off to try to do our best, and sometimes we come short, but we give it all we got on the field.
And it looks like Sam has really helped y'all score this year. Y'all are scoring a lot more than last year.
Yeah, I think Austin Miller, obviously being in his senior season, he's just a tank on the field, and then Sam, he's just great.
Last year y'all had a really good defense, but there was it seemed that the offense was kind of lacking to give y'all some relief. But now this year it seems like it's meshing a lot better.
Well,
y'all are helping each other out.
I feel like last year, the offense, its lack of being able to score gave the ball to them a lot more, which wore our defense down. Our defense can only do so much, and then the more and more they crack down, the more and more they're going to score. But this year, the more productive we're being on offense, it's giving our defense a break, and we're staying more fresh, and we're protecting the ball a lot more, and it's just been great, especially with the new head coach. Coach McCarthy is amazing.
How are practices going?
Practices, well, during the offseason, they were really tiring because Coach McCarthy is really stressing being more fit, and we want to be able to run circles around the other teams.
Right.
And so he's really worked as hard, but I think it's really paying off. I've seen substantial growth.
They're looking
last year.
A lot faster. Whenever we got the ball, we just run it. The defense is on their heels. We look a lot more conditioned.
Yeah. How many seniors do we have?
Seniors we
starting.
We have 1, 2, 3.
Austin,
4.
Aiden. Only four, and you start.
Austin, Aiden, Javi, and Andy.
So you start.
are
4 out of
seniors.
11. So we're gonna be, improving even the next year. We're not losing too many.
Our junior class is our strongest. I think we have like 12 to 13 on varsity. 16 on varsity. I just
Wow.
think that's
That's a
insane.
How do you
ton.
feel about the next
Also-
game though against Longview? I know they're really good.
They're like one of the best teams in the state,
Yeah,
and
they're-
we have two of the best teams in the state in our district. We play both back to back, Friday and Tuesday. It's gonna be a hard stretch, but I think we're gonna fight it out, and we're ready to press them.
Nick for baseball, were most of the kids out there seniors?
Mostly, but backups are mostly juniors. But the juniors are also looking really good. But there is some junior spotlight coming in.
Led
this
by
season.
QB1 Cody Reese next year.
In soccer, though, 3 out of the 4 seniors are going to play college ball. So, Coach McCarthy didn't put sometimes new head coaches coming in, you see him kind of forget about the older classes, but now he's still built off of that, and I'm
He's-
sure he helped them.
Yeah,
Get those offers.
he also has a great connection with college coaches playing college soccer, and so he really helps us out. Not only play like high school ball, but he helps us grow as men and get a future in what we want to do, if that's college soccer. Just being more mature and just learning how to handle tough situations and tough adversities and how to overcome them.
Right, because like I see on social media stuff like team dinners and all the kind of things that I didn't really hear last year. All I heard last year was losing this, losing that, but this year it seems like the mentality's a lot better.
Yeah, the goal is we try to have a team dinner before every home game. That's the goal. It hasn't always happened just due to some like misscheduling, but we've definitely had a lot more this year, and the culture is changing, which I think is the biggest thing. It's the culture. Like, we're not yelling at each other on the field as much. We've had a couple slip-ups, but it's like we're changing for the better, I feel, and it's great to see.
What have you seen from soccer, Nick?
Well, from a fan perspective, soccer, the offense is just seamlessly fast.
Yeah.
Every time Sam or Austin gets the ball, or Elijah too, it's just
They can
scoring.
fly.
Yeah, but that defense, sometimes on the defensive side, they usually are missing a player or two. But I feel like going on in the playoffs, I feel like if we get everybody back and on the field and working together, soccer can go pretty far.
I know Austin had a back injury. Is he healthy now?
He's slowly getting better. He's still going to treatment every day, but we're just glad to have him back on the field. He's still great.
I think also with soccer, it's that home field advantage. We don't lose many at home, especially whenever we got all the fans out there.
We've lost 2 games at home this year. One to Pine Tree, shouldn't have lost, and the one to Halls.
So more people we get there, better y'all play. Is that true?
I feel like we got that grim advantage.
Feed off the energy.
Yeah, we feed off the energy there. We love it. We love the fans.
And last night I traveled to Marshall with our basketball team, and our freshman team won 61-45. Alex Orr, definitely the freshman team's best player, had 17. Young prodigy. He's even in the varsity class period here at Texas High during the school day, so he gets to practice with Michael Thomas and all the big basketball names that happen here at Texas High. And also David J. Potter had 15. So our freshman team definitely stacked. They look really, really good. A couple of those players I think could even be successful on our varsity team. You watched them play?
I've seen a few home games this year. I didn't catch any in the freshman games, but I know most of them can play. Going to Marshall, that can be a hostile environment. How'd we do?
We did good. JV was the only team that lost. They lost by 3. They were up big towards the middle of the game, but kind of let it slip away from them. But varsity won 63-54. Marshall usually struggles a little bit in basketball. Football is their best sport. I don't think they're very good at soccer, are they?
Mm-hmm.
No, but basketball's not their strong suit. So we go in there kind of expecting to win. So we want to play our best, and last night we definitely did not. Michael shot the ball really, really, really well. That's really the main reason we won. But Damon wasn't himself. Jalen Godwin wasn't himself. I think we'll have those guys back Friday against Pine Tree, though.
I feel like the hostile environment from Marshall, every time we go to Marshall, toxic fans, I feel like that environment motivates these players. But I feel like yesterday didn't really motivate them
Didn't
anymore.
get it done.
Dragged them down.
It's definitely one of the school's toughest rivals, like one of the teams we hate most in our district. And I'm pretty sure, if I heard from Coach Skinner right, that if we beat Pine Tree at home at their senior night tonight, and I think Longview loses, then and then basketball's clinch playoffs.
Makes playoffs, yeah, because Longview lost last night to Silver Springs, and us and Longview are battling for the 4 seed, which you have to be in the top 4 teams in district to make playoffs. And they came to Texas High the first game and beat us, but then we went to Longview and beat them the second game. So we're really on the verge with them. Them losing to Sulphur yesterday, if we win Friday and they lose Friday, I'm pretty sure we do clinch up a spot in the playoffs, which is huge. So,
Great.
yeah,
I mean,
we
it
have.
seemed like the basketball season to begin with was not looking its way, and I mean, now that we have a shot at playoffs, I mean, who knows what we can do with
Comes
this
full
coach Skinner.
circle.
Exactly. We're improving every game. A lot of it's just effort. At first, we played a ton of tournaments and different things like that there at the beginning of the year where it was like game day after day after day against really good Arkansas teams like Lake Hamilton and all those kind of things, and we were just losing and really getting frustrated. But once district started, we kind of started to come together and come along. Damon had some really good games. Jaden Godwin had some good games. Michael's been good all season, so just kind of feeding off the energy. And especially at home, when we have a student section, we seem to play well. We lost our last home game to Mount Pleasant, but it was a good game. We played close to our
And
best.
I feel like football and basketball, at the beginning, they put them in a bunch of tournaments, but you don't have your football players,
Right.
like Michael and all of them.
Right.
I feel like that really affects our record and
Right.
playoffs and all that. But,
Exactly.
yeah, I'm glad we got it together and got all our football guys in there, and
So we got a game Friday at Pine Tree, and then we have a game this coming Tuesday at home against Sulphur Springs. Senior night.
Sulphur Springs is going to be a tough one. I mean,
Definitely.
they got a good guard, I've seen.
Yep. Bunch of them, man.
Aren't they big?
They're big, too. They have two big. One's a junior, one's a senior, and they can play.
Seems like this year for basketball, this is the most talent we've had on the court. We have a really talented group, so we really need to capitalize on
Right.
getting the playoffs.
Right.
We have a large senior class too.
Yeah, we have tons of skill out there. Our issue is usually size. If we play big, we do really well. But like our two starting guards, the Godwin brothers, they are really, really good, but they're short. And so when we go up against big guards, we have to do our best to play big and have Damon inside bullying people.
I mean, with our four on offense, it kind of rely on our shooting. And what do we
Right.
do if that isn't falling?
Right. And we struggled last night. We didn't shoot the ball well. Michael did, but everybody else really didn't. I mean, it was a fun game. Of course, when you're winning, you have a good time. But they say there's no moral victories, but last night definitely was not one. And so, walked out there with a win, and a win is always a good thing. But we didn't look very good.
Seems like the team, even though they don't play two big men or have great size, they get to the free throw line well. But
Right.
sometimes we don't always capitalize on that.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes we don't make them. Nick, you wanted to say something about swim?
Another win we had last night, besides basketball, was swim in regionals against Highland Park. They are now on their way to state, so congratulations to them Tiger Sharks. I mean, last year they went to state, kind of let down the state. They didn't get what we needed, but maybe this year we can shape it up.
Yep.
We have a great swimming program.
We do.
I find it so amazing. Some of the sports that don't get
It
broadcast
really goes
as much.
underappreciated.
Yep,
And then we
goes
look
under.
up and they're in state.
Like our
Right.
like our golf team, number 2 in the state. I'm pretty sure our swim team top in the state every year. Band, one of the best bands in the state of Texas,
Right.
and those are the things that don't get as much appreciation as they should.
Right.
I just find that
But,
amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool. And as you said, teams that do well go to state, stuff like that. Football. We got to the 4th round in playoffs this year. The last 2 years before that, we had gotten to the 2nd round. They called it the 2nd round curse. We play Texas City, we beat them. We get past that curse, and we lose to Crosby in the 4th round. Although the season we fell short of our ultimate goal of a state championship, the other day at signing day, we had a ton of recruits going to play college football, which was amazing.
It's insane.
Brayson going to Baylor.
I feel like Coach Jordan has a big effect on that. He's always involved in recruiting. And if you go on Twitter, they have a Texas High recruiting thing, and I mean,
He's active on there,
he is
definitely.
very active.
Seems like, TJ just got another offer, so from Colorado. So offers keep rolling in even during the off season.
Right.
I think Jerry has a big impact on that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Coach Stanford definitely.
I think the whole program itself is just a huge success. It just year in, year out.
Since Jerry's been here, just rebuild, no rebuild, just reload.
Coach
Right.
Stanford's just really just changed the program ever since he came here. He makes players better, and even when people expect little out of us, we show up and we show out each year.
Right. And we've kind of built that identity of we run that football over and over. I mean, the first round of the playoffs against Houston Fulshire, Braylon had 311 yards and 4
That
touchdowns
was
running.
an insane performance.
That looks like a quarterback's passing yard numbers.
It was like watching someone play Madden.
Yeah.
That was
Just
insane.
run it, and man, they could not stop Braylon.
I love that game because in the student section, we love to turn up and Brayson. He did good, but I feel like Braylon was the biggest part of that win.
Definitely. Yep.
Also, our defense was stellar this year, and that showed in the recruiting. We had 4 or 5 guys go sign. I think the whole starting secondary signed to play college ball.
Michael Marcel.
Tyreek, Kivante, and
Jalen Jones, yeah.
He has offers, but I don't think he signed yet.
Yep. I don't think he has either. And You know, Braylon, Michael, and Derek, them three were all state. And, I mean, you can't say enough about them. They were so good.
Tyreek was turning the ball over, giving our offense more time with it, just getting them interceptions.
Every game you looked up, he had a pick. Trayvon Diggs out there almost.
Almost.
And, yeah, Derek going to Texas, so proud of him. In 9th grade, he was on B team. Such an inspiration coming up, being our best player.
Great story.
Really.
I feel like he took part of his game from Clayton too. I mean,
Really,
Him
yeah.
and Clayton working together. That year, watching that defensive line was just crazy. It was
They were
it was
so
coming
good.
from
I feel like
either
Ian
side.
Cricht could also
Next.
look up to
Yeah,
Derek. You know,
definitely.
gotta watch out for Ian Cricht.
He's
next
an
year.
athlete for sure. And, you know, Brayson going to Baylor to be a preferred walk-on, that's really awesome. QB1, go do great things in college, man.
With his work ethic, he'll find a way on the field. He
Yep.
is the hardest worker.
Exactly.
Was on the track last year, just giving it all he had. Throw a pick during spring ball, and most quarterbacks don't like to be touched. You know, they slam their helmet. No, he went and made the tackle.
Yep.
He laid a guy out after
Yep.
throwing a pick.
I mean, he is.
Saw that a few times during the season too. Might have cost us a little, but
Yep.
And I mean, when the O-line wasn't blocking, I mean, what did he do? He ran out.
Yep.
And he, instead of just running out of bounds like any quarterback, no, he lowered that shoulder, and I just love seeing that.
Yep.
Love the aggression he brings on the field. It just brings passion to, and I think it spreads and it shows.
I agree, definitely. And you know, going from Texas High to college sports, last night the University of Arkansas, Samuel's team over here, knocked off the #1 team in the nation, Auburn, in men's basketball. Samuel, what'd you think about the game?
oh, that was great. I was nervous. We had a whiteout crowd. It was most people in that stadium since it's been built. Anytime Auburn made a bad play, the place went crazy.
Yep, exactly. And like JD Note, what'd he have? He had 28 points. Trey Lavender, my cousin, a Texas High alumni, wrote on his chest in a black marker, kept up in Roman numerals JD Note's points. And so after the game, whenever they stormed the field or stormed the court, he stood on somebody's shoulders and he had his whole chest showing with all JD Note's points, and JD Note pointed at him. That was pretty cool.
The points
Trey Lance
are the
is
glamorous, but I think what won us the game was Jalen Williams, Mr. Charge guy.
Double.
Yes,
Double.
Say that.
One after another. And, you know, right as the game ended, that guy threw the dunk down and the Bud Walton Arena went crazy. The lights went out. He dunked on that guy.
I think that's my favorite part of Bud Walton is when the lights go out after a win. That's so amazing.
College basketball is just a different
It's
atmosphere.
almost time for March too. It's
Right.
only going to get
Madness is
better.
coming up.
And speaking of something that's coming up, you cannot talk this week without talking about the Super Bowl that is coming up this Sunday. So here on Speakin Sports, we have a topic that we're going to call over or under. So I'm going to say a stat of the Super Bowl this week, and I want y'all to tell me if you think it's going to be over or under.
Okay, sounds good.
We're going to start Joe Burrow. Do you think he'll have over or under 3 touchdowns?
I'm going to think under because Joe Mixon is going to run that ball in all the way in the red zone. I feel like Joe Burrow, I mean, you know, you got T. Higgins and you got Jamar Chase, but I feel like they're going to expect that. So I feel Joe Mixon's going to get some touches and some TDs.
Well, I feel like Joe Burrow's going to have 3 touchdowns. I don't think he's going to have over. I don't think he's going to have under. I think he's going to have 3. I think
Dead
they're
in the
going to
middle.
air it out, but Joe Mixon's going to have the rock most of the game. But Joe Burrow's definitely going to have 3 touchdowns.
My prediction is 2 touchdowns, so I'm going to go under.
I'm also going the under. I think Jalen Ramsey will lock up Jamar Chase. If
Exactly.
T. Higgins can get him down there through the passing attack, punch in with Mixon. I think it's a smart game plan.
I think Nick Scott, the Rams safety, has been balling out in the postseason. I don't know if you kept track. He has like 4 picks so far.
Yep.
He's like you can't rule him out to guard T. Higgins.
Definitely not. And you think Joe Burrow will have over or under 277 passing yards?
That's a hard one, but I'm going to say over because, I mean, you got Jamar Chase, and they're going to double him for sure. That leaves T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, and I mean, the
Mixing
guys-
out of the backfield, too.
Ooh.
He can catch it.
gonna
What do
be
you think,
scary.
Braden?
I'm gonna go over.
I'm gonna go over.
I think a big use out of that tight end Uzama in that leadership role, veteran tight end.
Yep.
It's gonna
If you had
show
said
me.
275, I might have would said the over, but you said 277, so I'm going to go with the under.
Oh, you
I
think he's getting 276?
I don't know, but McVay is a mastermind.
He
Joe
really
Burrow,
is.
all he's done, he's still a young quarterback.
offensive
I
mastermind, not
think
really great at defense.
And really, Sean McVay, though, you got to think in his last Super Bowl, he held the Patriots to 13 points. Although he didn't score much, he did hold Tom Brady's Patriots to 13 points.
that Patriots offense is not very well. It's just Tom Brady the GOAT throwing to who?
Gronk, Edelman.
That's basically it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's basically their defense that was
True.
the best thing about that postseason.
Sure. Nick, you said Joe Mixon will score a lot. You think he'll have over or under 64 rushing yards?
I'm going to go with the under because I feel like they're only going to utilize him in the red zone, and I also feel like they're just going to have him out in the backfield.
Well, I got him over like 80 something, 80 and 2 touchdowns, maybe one.
I have to agree with the over because Aaron Donald, Von Miller, they're going to get tons of pressure on Joe Burrow. They're going to have to run that football. in order to have any success.
I'll go with over just because it's 64. I think most running backs, Super Bowl happens, they put on their best game. It has to be hard, running into that hard Rams D-line and linebackers, but I think a veteran back like Mix can squeeze out 64 yards.
Yeah.
What about on the other side, the running back, Cam Akers? Will he have over or under 64 yards?
He will definitely have under. That is a lock pick you should take. I mean, yeah, I don't even have to explain that one.
We'll come back next week to see that, Nick.
I think it's gonna be over. I like Cam Akers a lot, but if we're talking receiving and rushing yards, I think he definitely has over because I think he's gonna be utilized a lot in the passing attack because he's a great receiving back. But I do think that
Rushing.
he's gonna have less than 65 rushing yards, but he's gonna have over 65 total yards. He's gonna have like maybe 100.
I'm going under because Sonny Michel, I think they'll use a lot in the passing game and a little bit on second and third down running, so he'll have to share reps. So I'm going to go under for Cam Akers, 65 yards.
Under as well. I think McVay's going to try to mix it up, not give the Bengals anything that they can key on, so he's going to mix them both in there and probably not get that 64 yards.
Nick, do you think Odell Beckham, the resurgence of Odell Beckham, do you think he'll catch a touchdown in the Super Bowl?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Odell has scored every game in the past, I think 6 games he's been with the Rams, so I feel like he's going to get 2 touchdowns.
Oh yeah, he's gonna definitely score. It's Odell. I mean, what else do you want me to say?
I'm going to guess no. I think Cooper Kupp or Cam Akers are going to get the touchdowns.
Yeah, but they're gonna focus. Cooper Kupp is gonna leave that 2-man wide open. I mean, it's
Yeah,
gonna
I think,
be.
though,
and OBJ
everybody all year has looked at Cooper Kupp, and he's still putting up historic numbers.
OBJ is a wide receiver 1 in the wide receiver spot on the team.
Yeah, true.
I think Odell's going to get his touchdown. I also think he's going to excessive celebration penalty
Sure.
afterwards. I mean,
Oh, he's gonna be dancing
Yeah, he's
everywhere.
gonna, and Baker Mayfield's going to be somewhere in his living room watching the game crying.
Baker will cheer on his former teammate.
Not how that ended. Cooper Kupp, the lock for Offensive Player of the Year, if you're not counting Jonathan Taylor this year. Cooper Kupp, do you think he'll have over or under 107 yards?
He's going to play a lot of slot receiver this game, so I feel like he's going to definitely have over. I mean, that's it.
Over. I mean, he just puts up almost 200 yards each game. So
Exactly.
He's just phenomenal. It's gonna be over.
Most receiving yards total in a season. I'm going to go over. Matt Stafford just snapped the ball. Look for Cooper Kupp. You'll be good.
Under. That Bengals defense is overplayed. I mean, they don't have a lot of big names, but Eli Apple, he's came this far. I got him.
Eli Apple.
He's going to get cooked.
You're putting your faith in Eli Apple
He's
for
gonna get
Eli
cooked.
Apple, don't they have Bates?
Yeah.
Is Bates
Yes,
back
Jesse
there?
Bates, yes.
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
Bates.
I mean, their linebacker core, I mean, coming across the middle, they showed off those passing lanes. They overplayed.
They
see
did. They
what
did lock up
happens.
Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, so you never see what happens. Cooper Kupp, over or under 1.5 touchdowns.
I'm going to go under. I think the Rams are going to spread the ball a lot, and I think he's only going to get under just 1.
I think he's gonna get 2. I think he's gonna be over.
I think he's going to get 2 as well.
I guess I'll go under just because I think that Bengals defense, he has a good red zone threat. He runs a nice zig.
Yep. Jamar Chase, over or under 100 yards. Joe Burrow's #1 target, who is a rookie.
Definitely over. I mean, he may get doubled, but if you've seen in these past games, he has beat them double coverages. I mean, he's going to score, and he's going to get a bunch of yards.
The lock is under. The lock is under. They don't even have to double cover him. They got the best corner in football right now, covering him all game, shadowing him all game.
Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey's gonna
That
have
is
that
a good
rookie
point.
in a bind. He's not gonna be able to move.
I would agree with the under, but I'm going to take the over because I think he's going to take a slant route or something to the house about 75 yards, and one explosive play, and that'll put him on the over.
I go with the under. I think Jalen Ramsey is that guy, the best corner in the league. And I don't know if Zach Taylor's play calling is good enough to run Chase off of Ramsey like the Packers do with Adams.
Yeah.
So I think Ramsey's pretty much having locked all night.
The Bengals coach Zach Taylor used to coach under Sean McVay, so a little bit of a prodigy versus the
Come
mentor.
from the, I guess, then Redskins coaching staff.
Yep,
That
so
was
many.
a great coaching staff.
So many. We couldn't win any games. So a few weeks ago, Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times and still won the game. And you know the Rams have Aaron Donald and Von Miller. Do you think they get over or under 5.5 sacks?
The over is definitely a lock. I mean, if you look, he's always on the run and out of the pocket. I mean, they're going to get them sacks.
It's got to be over. And you said Aaron Donald, Von Miller. You were forgetting Leonard Floyd, who is having one of
yep.
the best years of
He
his
is.
career. Got like 16 sacks.
Yep.
They're definitely gonna have over. That's just too much to guard.
I think they're going to have the under. 5.5 is a huge number, although I think Joe Burrow will be under pressure all night. I think he's elusive enough to not get sacked 6 times, but we'll see.
We'll see.
5.5 is a big number for sacks, but we did see the Titans do it this postseason. Late in the games, Bengals probably going to be throwing, try to hit a deep ball because I think they're going to be down. So I think maybe a sack during trash time will clinch it up for the Rams. So I'm going to take the over.
Now it's time for your game prediction. Nick, tell us your winner and the score you think the game's going to be.
Well, my heart wants to say the Rams, but my mind's saying the Bengals. So I'm going with the Bengals here. I think the score prediction is going to be 27-20. I mean, if you look at the Rams, they didn't score in the past Super Bowl with Sean McVay. They barely scored, so I feel it'll be a low scored game.
See, I have to take the opposite. My heart wants the Bengals to win, but there's too much talent on that Rams team. They have to win now. They are the most win now team in football. Like, they have no picks for the next 5 years. There's so much talent
They
on that
bought all
roster.
in. Yep, I agree.
I definitely think they
What's your
got
score
it.
prediction?
Score prediction, I got Rams 38, Bengals 28.
I got the Rams winning 27-24 on a last-second field goal. I think the Rams come out early, running the football, take an early lead, and I think Joe Burrow leads them back into the game, the Bengals back into the game, but I think the Rams ultimately win it under the head coach being just better than Zach Taylor.
I'm also giving it to Rams, 31-21. I think it goes back to last year. Tampa Bay won. I mean, not Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers won in Tampa Bay. The Rams playing basically home field advantage.
And so far. Yep.
I think they got it. And
Never really
Stafford's
had
a veteran who deserves this.
Really?
He deserves it, and so does OBJ. But if you notice, SoFi is not much of a home stadium
It's
anymore.
really not.
There's so many different fans there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a shorter drive from
Sure.
San Francisco than it is from
Cincinnati.
I'll agree.
And I'm not sure if Cincinnati's fan base is as large as San Francisco's is, but who knows? We'll
Joe
see.
Burrow's is, I'll tell you that. Everyone
True.
loves Joe Burrow. and Everyone's going to show
He's
up
easy
and
to
want
root
him to
for.
win.
I mean, for him to win a Heisman, a national championship, and then turn around and possibly win the Super Bowl would just
coming
be
off
crazy.
of an ACL injury. I think he's
Right.
got comeback player of the year on lock.
I wish it was Dak, but yeah, I'm going.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'd give it to a
gotta
top
be
10
Dak.
quarterback.
That's another day.
That's
Nick,
an argument.
what's your prediction for Super Bowl MVP? I know you have the Bengals one. Who you think's going to get MVP?
I'm gonna go to long run, long bet. I'm going Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon?
Okay. So I'm not very sold on who's going to win it. It's such a back and forth. But if the Rams win it, I think that Cooper Kupp will win MVP. But if the Bengals win it, you can lock this. Evan McPherson, shooter, is going to win MVP.
True. Their
Well,
kicker.
He's going to kick like
He has
4
been
field
clutch.
goals.
He definitely has been clutch this postseason, winning them a bunch of games. Won the Titans game.
Won
the
every
Chiefs.
game in the
Really.
postseason. He has
Yep.
won them with the last second kick
Yep.
and multiple other field goals.
I'm gonna go the basic route. I'm gonna say Matthew Stafford for the Rams. A lot of voters want him to win after having to spend 12 years in Detroit and not winning a single playoff game. I think if he leads the Rams to a win, I think they'll give it to him.
I also think that's easy to give it to a quarterback. I mean, he's a real grit guy, too, so it'll be shown on the field how bad he wants this win. But if I could give it MVP to someone that maybe doesn't deserve it, I'd give it to the Rams left tackle, Andrew Whitworth. He's been there so
Blindside.
long. He's came so close. He's protected Stafford all year.
Old.
He is old. If they
Did he
win,
used to play for the Bengals? I believe he
Yes,
did.
he did.
He
Yeah,
used
he
to play
did.
for the
He
Bengals,
did.
so it's come full circle.
Exactly.
Well,
He's going to have a tough job with Trey Hendrickson. He's a monster.
Definitely.
Monster.
Well, we hope you enjoy the Super Bowl this weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in to Speakin' Sports. We're your hosts. We hope to see you again next week. Have a good week.